Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And I am very angry this morning. All right. I want to give a special shout out to Smizla, who sent this story to me. Smizla is in Ohio, and investigations have been done into Ma'Khia Bryant's family after the press conference that they put out. And it turns out that Ma'Khia Bryant was placed into foster care because of allegations of abuse at the hands of the mother and another person in the household. Not only that, the story gets worse from there. And I am going to read the article with you. I got the story last night and I was almost brought to tears. Because this cycle, it's like, this is the component of the story that brings it all together full circle for me. How she ended up in the foster care system, how she ended up violent, how she ended up feeling that it was okay to pick up a knife and attempt to plunge it into another person's throat, why she didn't feel protected there with her father present, why her father didn't stop her, why the father never ran to her after she had been shot, but was standing up there bitching on the side, and just the whole gamut, everything. This just brought everything full circle for me because Ma'Khia Bryant never stood a chance. She never stood a chance because the abuse and the allegedly, right? The abuse and the indoctrination into a life of violence began in her home at the hands of her mother, allegedly. Now, I am your host, Tanya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self-love looks like in your life, or what self-abuse looks like in your life as it pertains to the relationships that you have with people around you. Before we get too far into the video, I want to give a special shout out to the text notification crew who have signed up to receive text message notifications for when I do go live. Typically, I ask you all to put the number up to see who is here, but then we always get people who claim that they're on the text notification crew and they're not. So I'm going to give a special shout out to Deidre, who is the first person on the scene. Then Nurse Shelley, Katrin, Culture, Trini, and Just Jay, Felice, Yaisha, Toria, right? And some of the other people who came in after. Because, once it's up, listen. Hey, the cash apples are starting. I'm giving everyone a few moments to get in before we, and you know what? I'm going to stop giving people a few moments to come in because you should be on the text notification crew. That way, you're always on time. You never miss the beginning. You always know when I make a video. You know where I'm making a video and on what platform. You get the direct link, whether it's here, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or on another platform, because I'm going to start giving you all special perks and broadcasting simply to the people who are on the text notification crew so that only people with the link will be able to come forward. I told you all that my goal was to get 100 people on there, and we are very, very close to 100 right now. Let me tell you all where we're at. We were at 92 last night, the last time that I checked, and then this morning, I'm refreshing it. Give me a moment. We're going to jump into the Ma'Khia Bryant story. I'm going to read an article from the Columbus Telegraph, I believe it is. And we are still at 92. So we have 8 more to go until we get to 100. And once we get to 100, I'm going to separate the monthly contribution, people who support monthly from the text notification, because not everybody who supports monthly wants to get a text message every single time I go live. This is a special service for people who desire it. It is $1.99 a month, or $22 when you pay for it for the year, and you will always be in the know. And if these platforms ever kick me off, you will know how to get in touch with me. You will know where to continue to watch me, because they can't stop the message. They can't stop me. People think that I make all of this big money or profiting off of these stories. First of all, Facebook doesn't pay for live videos, and YouTube does not monetize controversial topics or uneasy topics or topics that are not advertiser friendly. So if you appreciate independent media, independent contractors who work to bring these stories and come forward to deliver the stories to you, support those people. You hear the cha-ching going on the side. Those are the cash apples coming in for people who are sending comments, and their comments will be read. I just put the thing scrolling across the bottom. And inside of the description of the video are ways for you to support. If you want the text notification, as I see some of you are commenting and saying that you do, the text notification is on the support page so that you can find various ways to support the channel each month. And so this is why I give you all shout outs, and this is why I read the cash apples on air. Because you all are my sponsors. People get upset with me for broadcasting these stories, but they don't get upset with CNN, and they don't get upset with other places that receive advertising dollars. You see this video, you don't see ads on it, the video's not monetized. Simple as that. You watch on Facebook for free. The people who contribute are the sponsors who help to keep this show on the air so that everybody can enjoy it. And so I give people special shouts out because of that. So listen, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, right? As you know, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. We are going to dive right into this story right now. I'm upset and I'm stupefied. I'm upset and stupefied. Should I read the cash apples first before we get into the story, or get into the story, then break to the cash apples and then come back? I think that's what I'll do that way, because I just spent 6 minutes doing the intro. So we'll do that, and then we will come back into the apples and read those. The thing that troubles me the most about this, and that makes me feel livid and protective, is the fact that this family was about to lose custody, and COVID is what saved them from losing permanent custody. Like, their children were up for permanent adoption because the family wouldn't do what it is that they needed to do, what they were being asked to do to get reunified. It's so upsetting to me, because then they brought their Black asses out there up on the stage, pushing one another out of the damn way to get to the microphone, standing up there crying with a picture of her baby, talking about how they need her baby, her this, her that. Meanwhile, the child was abused in her care, allegedly, right? According to reports, the child was abused in her care. Did she lose one child or all of her children? Were all of the children even created with the man that we saw punt kicking another woman's head down on the ground? I'm sorry, all of this is just very upsetting to me. I find this upsetting. And the gall and audacity of these people to stand up there. The gall and audacity of these people to stand up there talking about this young lady, attempting to now ring in on a payday for a young lady that they didn't care for. Now listen, care about and care for are different things. There was somebody who commented on my video, oh, her parents loved her and they cared about her. Caring about a person and making the decision to care for a person are different things. When you have a child, yeah, you can care about that child, but are you willing to do the things necessary to care for that child? And was this family willing to? Let's read and see. I'm sorry, this got me tight, hot, and livid this morning. I was almost in tears last night reading this, and it's infuriating. Infuriating. Here we go. This is from the Columbus Dispatch, where they are known for their excellence in journalism and research. So, Ma'Khia Bryant family attorney to investigate the death says, quote unquote, bureaucracy ill-equipped to protect. You all remember the press conference that they did. If you didn't, look at my last video, right? A lawyer hired by the family of it clicked out. Give me 1 second. A lawyer hired by the family of a 16-year-old girl who was in foster care when fatally shot on April 20th by a Columbus police officer is blaming the death on a quote-unquote bureaucracy of ill-equipped to protect children in their time of greatest uncertainty and need. The lawyer, as you remember that day, the lawyer and the family blamed all systems for failing Ma'Khia. But we're going to look and see how the first system that failed her was the family system, and the nerve, gall, and audacity of these people to be sitting up there at a press conference crying, talking about all of this. And then you all got on me about laughing about the fuckery of the father attempting to shove the mother out of the way as she's crying. No consolation, no pulling her into his arms. He was like, you know how you get when somebody who is not fully abled is on the bus, like with a big shopping cart, and they trying to get off, and your stop is there, and you got to get to work, and the time is ticking, and the bus got to go. That's how he was like trying to get her out of the doggone way. The mother. If you haven't seen it, go look at my last video. It's just unbelievable. Let's continue reading forward. It's undamn believable. It's got me hot. All right. Michelle Martin, a Columbus lawyer, delivered her remarks on a plaza outside of Columbus City Hall while standing alongside several of Ma'Khia Bryant's family members, including her mother, father, and paternal grandmother. Oh, they forgot about the loving aunt who was standing up talking about how much she was FaceTiming to keep up with Ma'Khia. I'm an aunt. And I know and understand the sacrifices that an aunt makes when a niece or nephew needs to be cared for. I understand as an aunt. Because as an aunt, you are the closest genetic match to your sibling and their parent. And I understand the sacrifices. So when I saw that aunt up on the stage, there was a part of me that was fuming. Because there isn't a way on this earth that strangers would care for one of my nieces and nephews over the sacrifices that I would need to make to step in. And I understand. You all don't know my story. You don't know my story. But some of you know that I have assisted in the raising of a child. And so I understand that it's not always convenient. And it wasn't your intercourse that brought forward this person. But I understand the sacrifice of having to step in and doing what needs to be done for your family tree. And the people who came in who didn't ask, to be born. I understand that sacrifice. And so for people to be on the stage when it's time to make a lawsuit, but those 4 people, listen, I need to, give me a second, I'm sorry. Give me 1 moment. I'm sorry. Okay. But those 4 people were nowhere to be found when Ma'Khia needed someone. Listen, you know what? I'm going to switch over to the apples because this story is upsetting me. The article is upsetting me. I'm going to switch to the apples real quick, and we're going to come back to that and jump in precisely where we left off. I'm sorry. This is angering. This is angering. And anybody out there who has ever stepped in to care for a child who was not your own, I'm sure you can understand why I am upset right now. Let's continue to go forward. Let's get the apples on the screen. All right, here we go. Stacy sends $20 and says, Tanya, have a blessed day, sis. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Deidre sends $5 and says, good morning, Tanya. You all must have been the first people who were sending the messages when we first got on. Thank you. Thank you. And Chigozie sends $10 and says, Grand Rising, sister. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate these. These are making me feel much better. Desi sends $1 and says, got your book, love. Yay! Thank you, Desi. I appreciate that. What did you think of the personal message I autographed to you? Thank you. And Sherry sends $50. Thank you, Sherry. And she says, speaking truth to our people without apologies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Especially in these times where people are upset with me for reporting on the story, and even with the given information, we still cannot fault the cop for saving a person's life in his presence. We can't fault him for that. The issues that started with Ma'Khia started long before she ended up in foster care. As a matter of fact, it's part of the reason that she was in foster care. So thank you. I appreciate that. Gadir sends $3 and says, thank you for how you have inspired me. I appreciate that, Gadir. Thank you. Thank you. These cash apples do brighten my day. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're going to jump right back into the story. I appreciate that. Deborah sends $30. Hey! Thank you, Deborah. Tanya, love from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm vitamin E waiting. You know what? We're working on getting the packaging in. So that's the next step. I still, as of today, have 200 unshipped orders of the books. And these are the next set of, I don't want to show anybody's information. These are the next set of the labels that are going out today. So even with those printed up, I still have 200. So as soon as we get through those, the vitamin E is next, as well as the vegan makeup that I wear. That I've been working on behind the scenes with the lab to get perfect formulas with the colors that we love. Maurice sends $1 and says, I'm late, but I'm here now. I've got to catch up. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Shanae sends $5 and says, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate that, Shanae. Thank you. All right, now let's jump back into this story. Sorry, this is very upsetting. This is very upsetting. Oh, I just missed a comment. It went by very quickly because we're broadcasting on 3 platforms. So people are commenting from all of the platforms. So it went by quickly. But somebody said, now that it's time to get paid, they all show up. It's going by really quickly. Miranda says, as a parent of a teenager in this time, it's easy to speculate and make opinions. Foster care isn't some fairy tale land either. However, society at large plays a significant role. It's all inclusive. We need a better culture and better examples of societal influence to help guide kids. You can parent someone right and they still go left due to outside influences that they try to identify with. And challenging that type of situation is sticky, touchy, and can be conflicting for both the parent, and then it gets cut off. And so, listen, I think that it's important that we do ask the questions. Was Ma'Khia just an unruly teenager who didn't want to clean and was upset that people were asking her to clean? Is this the profile of an abused child who was placed into foster care because of said abuse, and all she knows is violence and thus enacted violence out on the scenes that day? Or, there's so many different scenarios. This is why I believe that it is imperative for us to withhold judgment until more information unfolds. And so here we are. Let's read that more information today. And we're going to get those apples in just a moment. Don't you worry. I got you. I got you. All right. So back where we left off. Here, let's make this larger for you. All right. While standing alongside several of Ma'Khia Bryant's, so Michelle Martin, a Columbus lawyer, delivered her remarks on a plaza outside Columbus City Hall while standing alongside several of Ma'Khia Bryant's family members, including her mother, father, paternal grandmother, all of whom spoke, and her aunt, I'm adding that in, all of whom spoke about their grief over the teen's death. Ma'Khia's mother, Paula Bryant, sobbed as she described her daughter as a quote unquote innocent, talented, bubbly, loving. Words can't explain how I feel right now that I have to bury my beautiful daughter. The girls' funeral services, and they talk about where it's going to be held. We're going to investigate every agency that had a time and opportunity to prevent Ma'Khia's death, Martin said. Look at her face. I just can't. He's looking up to the sky. She got a downturned smirk. This whole thing. Specifically, Martin said she will request at least 2 federal investigations, one of the Department of Health and Human Services in the Ohio foster care, starting here in Franklin County, and another by the U.S. Department of Justice into the shooting. Family hopes story that led to attack shooting will unfold. The teenage girl was fatally shot by Columbus police officer Nicholas Reardon after he responded to a report of an attempted stabbing in the 3100 block of Legion Lane outside the foster home where she lived. Video from Reardon's body cam shows her wielding a knife, which she appears to swing at a woman as she's pinning against a car when the officer fires what sounds like 4 shots. Although 3 family members made brief statements, the lawyer didn't allow reporters to ask them questions. That's not exactly true. The lawyer, she let the lawyer let them ask questions, but not directly to the people. And there were 4 family members up there. So come on now, don't forget the aunt. As an auntie, I don't listen. Come on now. The lawyer didn't allow, so this is a picture, let's see. Okay, so that's like the footage and all that other stuff that we have seen that we do not want to see again. So we will continue going forward, right? Martin declined to provide specifics about the system's failure in the girl's case. She also declined to provide information about why the girl had been in custody of Franklin County Children's Services since March 2018. 2018, 2019, 2020, and now we're 2021. That's 3 years because she went in there in March and we're in April. So the anniversary of her going in there just passed. Did that have an effect on Ma'Khia's mental health at the time? Because the anniversary of 3 years of her being in foster care system, did she was she participating in dramatic activity as a way of getting her parents' attention, getting her father to come over so that she could see her dad? There's so many questions because we know that children will do what works. And there are many of us, adults included, like we were talking to somebody who was on the last broadcast who was attempting to bring drama during the live. And there are many of us who perpetuate drama because drama gets us the attention that we want, the interesting events in our lives, our heartbeat racing, a reason to live, a reason to feel like the victim. All of these different things drama brings into our lives, especially for women and girls who are not taught the autonomy of navigating through life and creating your life in the ways that you want it to be. So we teach boys, go out there, get the life you want, do this, that, and the other. We teach girls, go get the man who can give you the life that you want, instead of teaching girls to go out there and get the life that you want. And so many of us create drama in our relationships because we need entertainment, or we like the entertainment, or the entertainment entertains us. Let's continue going forward. Give a thumbs up for this vegan makeup I got on. It looks so pretty. I love this. It's so lovely this morning. I love it. All right, let's continue going forward. All right. At this point, I will not be offering up that information, the lawyer said. However, as the investigation is ongoing, the story of how Ma'Khia Bryant was placed in foster care and remained in foster care, we believe, for too long, will unfold. The Dispatch, this is the paper, has obtained documents revealing that Ma'Khia, a younger sister, and two brothers, all juveniles. This is the part I really want you to pay attention to. This is the part I really want you to pay attention to. All right? This, please listen. Share this video. Tag somebody who needs to hear this. Share this video with people who had questions about how Ma'Khia got in there, how long she was in there, why she was in there, and where she got the sense that violence was okay and programmed into her. So listen, I'm looking for you all to tag your people now. Tag them because we're about to read it. Let's see. I don't see anybody tagging anybody yet. Come on now. Tag your people so that we can get the information out there. Because I promise you, this will not go quietly into the night. While these parents who allegedly abused these children, according to documentation, stand up there on the stage trying to collect on a payday from her death when she shouldn't have been in foster care to begin with. Come on now. Okay, I see people tagging their people. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for calling your people in to hear this. Now let's continue to go forward. The Dispatch has obtained documents revealing that Ma'Khia, a younger sister, and two brothers, all juveniles, were placed in emergency custody of the Franklin County Children's Services on March 19th, 2018. One day after Columbus police responded to an incident at an unidentified Columbus residence. So they responded to an incident at the residence. And then the next day, the Department of Family and Children's Services came to save the children and put them in emergency care. Listen, let's continue going forward. Let's continue going forward. Thank you for tagging your people. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you. I appreciate you all tagging your people. This is important. This is important because something needs to be done about this. All right. The four children were unsupervised, according to the police, and made allegations of abuse against their mother and an adult sibling. I am livid. I feel chills running through my body. I'm so angry. I am angry. Again, I'm barely able to contain myself. You know how difficult it is for four children to say that their mother abused them? Because children never want to be separated from their mother. To get four minors to say that their mother abused them. Four. Come on now. to get 4 minors to say that their mother abused them. 4, all 4. Because the last thing that they want to do is be separated. That's the last thing that they want. Children will endure any number of atrocities to stay with their mother. And even when people come to question, the children will feel guilt about admitting truths that have happened to them. So to come there, so an incident happened at the residence. The police came. Then the very next day the police came back. The children were unsupervised and placed into protective custody. If Ma'Khia is 16 now, 3 years ago, she was 13, and all of the siblings, so her 10-year-old sister was 7. The older sister that we heard, the alleged older sister that we heard in the broadcast. If some of you haven't seen these videos, go back and click a few days. Just go back into the video library and click back and take a look at the videos that we've done covering this story. I'm going to switch to the apples for a moment because this is just upsetting. This is upsetting. Oh my goodness. All right. So we have, let's see. Let's give those a moment to just load up. I'm sorry, you all. This is horrifying. They're not coming up for some reason. Here they go. This is one. Okay, Bonita sends $2 and says, maybe I read wrong. I read the kids abuse their mom. Is that what you read? Is that what you read? That the kids were abusing the mother? Interesting. Where did you read that? All right. Kiva sends $20, hey, and says, you are a unique and inspiring queen. Thank you, Kiva. I appreciate that. Thank you. Stacy sends $20, hey, and says, keep up the good work. Truth is freedom. Yes, it is. It truly is freedom. Jana sends we got 20, 20, 20 in a row. Sends $20 and says, you are wonderful. Heart emoji. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Juanita sends $5 and says, a new fan, much love and support. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you. Tavares sends $5 and says, I'm interested in the officer's point of view. Well, you know what? All of that is going to come out in the trial. Don't worry. All of that will come out in the trial because there will be a trial. There will be a trial. All right, let's jump back to the article. Just brace yourselves. This is unbelievable. Just unbelievable. All right. The 4 children were unsupervised, according to the police, and made allegations of abuse against their mother and an adult sibling. Although the mother emphatically denied all allegations of abuse, the court granted Children's Services temporary custody in November 2018 and began a program. This is the part that really irks me. Began a program aimed at reuniting the children with the mother. However, after years of what the agency described as failures by the mother to comply with the plan, Children's Services filed a motion seeking permanent custody of Ma'Khia and her sister in January 2020. There have been numerous delays in the case, mostly because of COVID-19 restrictions at the court, but a trial on the permanent custody case was scheduled for next month. Children's Services say they were reviewing Brian's case. A voicemail message left with Martin on Wednesday afternoon seeking comment on the record wasn't immediately returned. Let's talk about some of it that we've heard, right? From what it is that I've heard, people have reported to me, and this is not confirmed, but people have reported to me that the mother was supposed to take classes about, I believe, domestic violence classes and parenting classes, and the mother just refused to take the classes. 3 years. 3 years that the agency is claiming they were trying to reunify the mother with her children, and she simply needed to take parenting classes and domestic abuse classes, and she would not, allegedly. So they were like, after all of this time, we're just going to go ahead. I mean, it's been 3 years. 3 years. You know, as a certified clinical hypnotherapist, the subconscious mind is formed under the age of 9. So the subconscious mind is just pulling everything in like a sponge. We heard the girl who claimed to be the older sister, right? Who was in, was she in foster care? I don't know. But the older sister was talking about the foster situation and all of that. And she was cursing and carrying on. And this is the way that she knew to emote and express herself, cussing at people, calling people bees, and all of this other stuff, right? And what environment was that young lady raised in? What environment was the girl who was 7 when she was placed into foster care? What is it that was already programmed into these children? That is the question that I have and want to know. That's the question I have and want to know, right? That's what I want to know. Let's jump back to the article. Franklin County Children's Services released a statement Wednesday reacting to Martin's comments of the system's failure. The agency, quote unquote, is committed to the thorough review of Ma'Khia's case, wrote Allison Rogers, a Children's Services spokeswoman. We are also continuing our process of evaluating as we consider and strive to improve our efforts to address the needs of those we serve. Martin confirmed that Ma'Khia's youngest sister was placed in the same foster home on Legion Lane where she and Ma'Khia had been since February. She said of 2 of Ma'Khia's siblings were present at the time of the shooting. So the younger sister and Ma'Khia were present at the time of the shooting. Asked if the family supports the criminal charges against the officer, Martin said it depends on what the investigation produces. If you ask me, I believe the officer responded too aggressively. We saw the press conference, so you can hear her say that herself. I know what my heart tells me, but I also know what the law says. So I'm interested in finding out how we can use both to get justice for her. The shooting is being investigated by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and eventually will be presented to a Franklin County grand jury, which is a routine procedure for all fatal uses of force by law enforcement officers in the county. Look at this image of these glasses which is bedazzled with Makhia and candles out there set out for Ma'Khia. This is so sad, I'm telling you. And then it says, Ma'Khia, say her name on the ground, written in chalk. Listen, this is sad. This is sad. And you know what? We as Black people who are outraged by this situation, I understand the Say Her Name movement. And when we go to say her name, let's please say her name and work on ways to get peace for our Black girls, loving environments for our Black girls. Listen, for those of you on the text notification squad, the text crew, we're going to be doing a lot of videos today because I'm going to show you a video of Black women allowing young Black girls to fight in their presence and filming it on a school bus. Many of you have sent this to me. And I don't want to do this story, but I think that we need to see and clearly get a perspective. Because, we see Black women like us and you and me, and we're like, oh, things are all good. Let's come together. Let's this. No. Some people we need to vehemently stand up and against. We need to vehemently stand up and against certain types of behaviors, abuses, and pathologies in our community, also by the hands of Black women. Because every Nubian womb holder is not on the righteous path to self-discovery and self-love. And we need to condemn those actions. When we go to say Ma'Khia Bryant's name, we need to say and talk about the situation that got her into foster care in the first place. The situation that got her into a situation where you see a man and a woman on the stage and you don't know whether they're her doggone brother and sister. They look so doggone young. The man with a big, cute afro puff on his head. All that's missing is the bow or the bobos. Come on. We need to talk about making some changes in our communities, and also each one teaching one, each one of us getting up and becoming a big sister of America, getting up and volunteering, getting up and giving back to our youth. You all know that I find an initiative each year to contribute to. In 2019, it was autism, youth with autism. In 2020, the pandemic came and everything was topsy-turvy. 2021, I've been working with organizations that provide relief for youth, sending out cases of my books at my expense, donating cases of my books to young girls to be able to do the affirmations, to change their subconscious programming and come into their own with self-love. These are the things that I do behind the scenes, and we all have to step up, not just when a girl is shot down by police, but when a girl is failed by her mother. So many of us want to be like, oh, it's the mother, you got to blame them. It's all of us. Because what are the rest of us doing? It takes a village. What is the rest of the village doing for the little girls who are now, listen, when I was in college, I went into the jails, into the prisons to mentor young ladies, and the stories of how these young ladies became incarcerated, pimped out. But before the pimp came on the scenes, what was going on in that home with the men who came to see the mother and then went and knocked on or opened up the door to the daughter on their way out? And it's like we need to think about these things because these things exist in our society. Ma'Khia Bryant was failed. And the failure that happened didn't start with the police officer. The police officer did his job. The police officer saved a Black woman on the scenes. The police officer saved another Black girl. He did. Ma'Khia Bryant being failed started long before the white man with a gun got onto the scene. Long before that. So when we say her name, let's say her name with intention of doing something different that offsets the situation that occurred when the police came on and took the measures, the life-saving measures, the life-ending and the life-saving measures that he took that day, coming into a situation where we are notorious for flagrant, rampant violence in our communities, so that when a police officer comes onto a scene, he doesn't even know what he's walking into. We need to make changes. I hear a lot of these apples coming in. You know what? Let's come back to this article real quick. And then we're going to read the apples. All right, here we go. All right. We got Centania sends $20. Hey! She couldn't be bothered to get right for the kids. Precisely. And now she could be bothered to be up there dry crying, making cry sounds on a stage. Melanie sends $25. Hey, you all are really, really, really holding it up and holding it down today. Melanie sends $25 and says, in memory of Ma'Khia, Purple Heart. Purple Heart is right, which is the medal given to people who were valiant in war. Jennifer sends $2 and says, new fan from Arizona, and I love your perspective, heart and prayer hands. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. We got Shadon sends 111 and says, Black women seem to hate each other, especially in the ghetto. You know what? Listen, we have some tremendous issues. We have some tremendous issues. You would be stunned by the amount of Black women who come out. Like I saw a comment from a Black woman who was like, she called my page ghetto. She said that me receiving cash apps was ghetto, and that and that having people and marketing the text service so that people could get the notifications when I go live. She said that that was me begging for $1.99. So we have all of these hangups and all of this anger towards one another, that people would see me having created and programmed and gone through the stages and steps of grueling work to get the text notification service programmed, operational, and synced with people's, so that all you have to do is go to my webpage, put in your information, and a series of processes, expensive processes too, it unfolds. And that you all asking me for that service and me providing the service and telling you all that the service is available is begging. So it's like, we need to make some changes among ourselves. We really do. We really do. Renette sends $15, hey, and says, for your truth and care in speaking on this. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And Stacy sends $8 and says, preach, sis, with the nail polish hand emoji. Thank you. Let's jump back to the article. And finish this up. And then I'm going to come to some of your comments in the comment section. All right. Say her name. Say her name, Ma'Khia Bryant. Let's not forget her name, and let's get to know some of the names of the young ladies who are still living, who we can help with our efforts, right? Use of force and police training experts have told the dispatch that the officer had no choice but to shoot because the life of another person was in immediate jeopardy. There was no time to de-escalate the situation, and officers are trained to shoot at a person's center mass as the most effective way to stop an assailant. And so this was created by John Futty at the Dispatch, this article. All right. So what are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts? I'm going to read some of your comments. Brooklyn says, we also need to focus on building for our kids that they feel like they have something to lose in these situations. Yes, absolutely. Light, it went by too quickly. Light said we need to help our communities now, but the comments are moving quickly. Spidey says at community, but yet they did not ask for reparations. Ask my ma, said, I don't know why. I don't know if you're trolling, but this is not the time or place, dear. You will get blocked. You will get blocked. All right. Tiffany, oh my goodness. Hold on. Tiffany says they are only trained to kill black and brown. No, they kill all colors. I've seen it. They kill all colors, but each police, we have 50 states in here, and each police force is trained differently. Each situation is different. Melanin Queendom says, shame on you, exclamation point. You are well within your right to feel how you want to feel. However, I do not agree with your choice of words in this situation. I believe Tanya is speaking truth. Yes, Tanya is speaking on a situation that is emotionally charged and a fresh wound within the Black community. But the damage that those parents inflicted onto this young girl were lifetime scars. Ma'Khia was a damaged youth, and she behaved in a way that shed light on just how traumatized she was when we focus, and the comment goes on, but that's all that's shown here. Okay, so let's see what else we have. And Sade says, Tanya brought a new perspective to me on this situation because I was ready to get on the train of police brutality. And she's right. You know what? I'll say this, right? Before anybody says that I'm right or that I'm wrong or that anybody else is right or that anybody else is wrong, let's just look at the information. I don't want people to be like Tanya's 100% right because Tanya could be wrong about some things. So maintain your objectivity and continue to search for information that brings us closer to the truth. It's as simple as that. I'm not here to convince anybody that I'm right and that this situation had to go down the way that it did. These are my opinions. And I want us to be able to just focus on getting as close to truth as possible by letting the information unfurl and allowing ourselves to be objective. Please, that's all I ask. I do not, and you know what? And I don't listen. I'm telling you, I don't want people to be like, "Oh, Tanya, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right." That's not why I'm making these videos. I'm making these videos to make us think and to think about self-love, what self-love or self-abuse looks like. And in this situation, for our young people, because I do have some young people who watch my channel, I'm going to say this, please. Your life goes on beyond the scope of your parents and how some of your parents may have tried to destroy you. Not everybody's parent is a loving parent. Some parents try to destroy their children, and your life is your own life. And you see how in this situation, how people will not take care of you, will not be there for you when you need them. But the moment that some money is on the table, they're rubbing their hands together, showing up, taking flights, coming into. The aunt was in a whole other state and came for that press conference. But that same aunt couldn't be there to help her niece get out of foster care or to do whatever it is that she needed to do to bonks her brother or sister upside the damn head to make sure that they did what they needed to do. All right, let's continue going forward. Let me read some more of the comments, and then I'm going to read the apples that are coming in, right? Tanya showed a video on why you don't tase a person wielding a knife. Adrenaline is a powerful chemical. You know what? I feel like I need to, Slayer says, get over it. If she was white business. Wait, hold on. Slayer, I'm looking and I'm side-eyeing because Slayer is coming forward and saying if she was white, quote unquote, get over it, that you are not white and your men don't run anything. Listen, do you want to get verbally dragged across the concrete? Don't come here with your foolishness. Don't. I'm not the one for that. I'm not the one. You know, there's a lot of people who like, oh, Tanya, you sound like Candace Owens, this, that, and other. Don't get it fucking twisted over here. Don't get it fucking twisted. Ain't no capes over here. Ain't, oh God, the New York accent. Here. Ain't no capes over here. Ain't no capes over here to cover people with swinging balls or people lacking melanin. Ain't no capes over here. Don't play. Don't play. Don't play. All right. You know what? Let me jump into these apples because, you know, because there's a lack of caliber in some of these people. Let me just, because this is, look. All right. Let me refresh. Chigozie sends $20 and says, hey, says caring about the less privileged. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Brenda sends $5 and says she had a really rough life. Just sad. Absolutely. Very, very sad indeed. Oh, wow. There's a lot that came in. Wait. Here, this was the one we just read. Marie says, I've been her. I was DSS for over 8 years. I turned 18, so she aged out. And Ma'Khia was just 2 years from aging out. But by then, so much damage had already been done. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Maurice. Alethea sends $10 and says, we need to prove that Black Lives Matter in our own communities. Heart. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Wanda sends $20. Hey, thank you, Wanda. And says, I give because your platform is vital to our culture. Red heart. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. There's some people who don't get anything out of my videos and they dislike them. There's a lot of people on Facebook that say they don't like my videos. I don't know why they stay. I don't know why they say. Katrin sends $1 and says, I just want to say how gorgeous you look today. Thank you. I went into the sauna. I have an infrared sauna. I went to the sauna today. And then it's funny. I used some TKO Skin shampoo that got over my face. And inside of the shampoo was cinnamon oil, tea tree oil, rosemary essential oil, a bunch of different essential oils, plus black soap. It was a soap I used to make when I was at TKO Skin. And it also had some capsicum in it, which I do not recommend for putting on your face because capsicum burns, right? But my skin, like I don't even have on foundation. You all know how I get down. So yes, I think it looks super pretty too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Tasha sends $5 and says, hi, Tanya, just for support. Have a blessed one. Thank you, Tasha. I appreciate that. And Maisha sends $5 and says, Goddess, continue to share your grace, social excellence. Thank you. I appreciate that. You all are so sweet. And Maurice comes back with $1 and says, I would like to call in about this. We've been on for 56 minutes, so we don't have the time to call in. Plus, there's a lot of videos that I need to make. Listen, there's so much going on. I wish I could remember the name. These people from like Real Housewives, the man went to jail, the woman held him down. And when all was said and done, he admitted that if the shoe was on the other foot, he wouldn't have held her down, or he didn't know if he would. There's a lot of stories to cover. There's then what's this guy's name? Shock G. Oh, I have an inside scoop for what his preference was from his own mouth. We need to do a video about that. There's so many videos to do that I want us to do a call in, but we're probably gonna have to do that in another video on another day because there's about 3 videos I want to go live about today. Thomas sends 222 and says, perfect example of family with no accountability. Absolutely. And that's the sad part. They're accountable to stand up there for some damn money, though. Keisha sends $6 and says, sending love, appreciate your content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, you all hold me down. You really do. You all support this channel and keep the channel going. So I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I wish that we lived in a society where I could get sponsors and ad revenue and talk about these tough topics and that people didn't have to contribute directly. But we live in a world where this is not the case. This is not the case. I used to spend so much time envious of these other YouTubers and these Caucasoids that would come out here with their little makeup palettes and do their little videos and get all of this support and be promoted by YouTube and all this other stuff. I used to be so envious of that. But I just found my own lane and unapologetically stay in this lane, and you all support me. So I appreciate that. And if there's anybody who has a problem with it, go talk to Chris Cuomo and Rachel Maddow and these other people who create income and vast amount of income for themselves reporting on hard stories, right? Go talk to them. Don't talk to me about how I should not be able to survive and thrive. Julie sends $20. Hey, we got so many 20s coming in today. Hey, $20 said, seeing that press conference was despicable, wasn't it? There was just something very icky about it. It was just weird. All these people coming out. Another 20. Hey, today is the day of 20s. Does today have a 2 in it? No, it's 4/3/2021. How interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Andrea sends $20. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, look at this. Another 20. Hey, we are so lucky and so blessed today. Brenda sends 20 and says, I love your book. I want to donate one to someone. Hey, let's put that down here because we need to do a book giveaway. So Brenda sends $20. And so when people send $20 through the Cash App for a book, right? They pay for the book and I cover the cost of your shipping so that if you need it, you know, like it depends on the giveaway. It depends on the giveaway. So yes, so Brenda sends one book. Thank you, Brenda. And we have Alicia who contributed 2 books, Rashida who gave a book, and then there was Teresa who gave a book the week before that. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 books to give away. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Brittany sends $5 and says, I'm new to your channel from one sis to another. Thank you. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Thank you. And hey, we got another 20. Look at this. Thank you all. And she says, keep up the amazing work. 2 red hearts. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you. All right. So we've been on for an hour. You know, I like my videos to be just under an hour or a little bit over because I want you all to be able to get enough information and enough interaction on a story, not just give you a little 1 minute or 5 minute, you know, but if you have like time driving or cleaning or working out and you need a video to listen to, I create videos for those times that you need something to assist you with spending your time. So that's what I do. I don't create short videos. So listen, thank you all for coming out. I'm going to read some of your comments here. So if you have something to say, please say it now. Tara says, police brutality really has no race or discernment, because I saw a video of a white officer who broke bones of a white civilian who has autism. You know, I would just like to add that there is a racial component that enters into policing. Our police force began as a militia enforced by the Second Amendment to catch Black people who were running away. This is how our police system began. So yes, there is prejudice in policing. There is prejudice, and different people are handled in different way. Let's not be naive. In this situation with Ma'Khia Bryant, the police officer used deadly force to save a person's life. But there are other situations where the person is Black and they do not get the grace afforded to them that a white counterpart in the same situation would have. We showed video of a Black man in an open carry state with a long gun versus a white man walking down the street with a long gun. The police officers came and grappled up the Black man with the long gun and allowed the white man to walk freely with the long gun. So let's not be naive. Let's not be naive. Okay? Let's not be naive. Let's not be naive. Pretty says, stop condoning it then. CI says police started as slave catching, but I don't want us to refer to people who were enslaved as slaves. They were enslaved Africans, so they were human beings first. So law says people are really justifying the attempted murder of a Black woman just because a cop stopped it from happening. Oh, the effery. Yeah, you know what? The thing is, emotions are high, and a lot of us, I've been really surprised. Like, some of my favorite vloggers support this situation on the other side, saying she shouldn't have been shot, that this, that, and the other methods, this, that, and the other, and she was a child and a little girl and all this other stuff. And I'm like, listen, we have got to remain objective. And you know what? I don't know if other Black women are just being quote unquote on code, because if that's what on code means, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to sit there and stay on code and be disingenuous. I'm not going to do that. A lot of you asked me to speak on this story, so it was either I don't say anything or I speak the truth. I don't know. Listen. I don't know. If you all, I don't know. I don't even want to do a survey on it. Let's do a survey on it. And please, I would like to see only Black women answer this survey, right? If you believe as Black women, we need to speak the truth, put up the number 1. If you believe that we need to be on code, either either speak what is on code or keep our mouths closed in all situations. Put up the number 2. I'd like to see what you all think about that. Okay, so we have people who are putting up a 1. Okay. Well, what about the on code people? Okay, so it's going quickly. I just saw a person named Brianna here. I just found it. Brianna puts up a 2. Okay. Okay. All right. So it seems like most people think that we need to speak the truth. I'm wondering whether or not we need to combat the narrative that has already been out there. And I'm just clicking on them randomly because they're coming so quickly. Almond Joy says 2. Cuss says 2. Okay, listen, I respect your points of view. I respect your points of view. I mean, everybody is not going to feel that we should tell the truth. Maybe I should have just be quiet on this situation. Maybe I didn't need to speak up at all. But people asked me, they beseeched me to come forward and give my point of view. A lot of you send me stories and ask me to please speak on it. So I only do stories that you all send me. I only do stories for the most part. Lyconia says 222, so she's adamant about that. And I respect you all's points of view. I do. I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. And you know what? Speaking of which, I'm going to give a shout out to the people who signed up for the text notification service during this broadcast. We were at 92 when we started. Sarah, let's see. Sarah was the last person to sign up. Let's see where we're at now. Oh my goodness. We are at 99. Wow. So India, Tavares, Damien. Oh, we got a guy signed up. Joanna, Lakeisha, Janelle, Christina, Sarah, Robin, Latorsha, Kelly, Dion, Toria. We got All Hell No from Facebook, Rashita, and Fila. Those are the new signups. Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we have reached the goal, 100 people. That is what I was aiming for. I was aiming to get 100 people to sign up for the text notification service so that you all will be made aware when we go live. And we are going to be going live again after this. We have a lot of stories to cover today. Continue to send me stories on my website, tanyatko.com/contact, or just go to tanyatko.com, click on contact. That's where you send me the stories, because I need to keep the stories together. Like sometimes you'll see me on live and I'm like searching and looking for links. If you're sending them to me all over the internet, I don't know where I've seen them. So make sure that you send them to me directly there from my website. Even those of you who have my other email address that I give to you if there's an emergency or a problem or whatever, that's not where you send stories. Because when I'm looking for a story, I need to be able to find it in my inbox. Because what happens is I have a folder that I send stories to that I'm going to click on air, and it makes it go a lot quicker. So please do that. And for those of you who want to support the show monthly, there's a support link is in the description if you want to get the text notification. Right now, the text notification is coupled with the monthly contribution, and that is going to be separated after we get to 100 people. Because some people just want to contribute monthly and other people want the text notification service. So if you want both, after today, you'll have to pay for them separately. So I wanted to get to 100, and so I pushed it and I gave it to people who had already signed up for the monthly thing. And if you don't want it, and if I had given it to you for the monthly contribution, you don't want it, let me know. I will take it. I will separate it for you. Because of programming, I need to be able to separate them so that I know who wants what, because there are different tags and journeys that a person goes on when they subscribe to one versus the other. So if a person unsubscribes, I don't want people to be unsubscribed from both. You understand? All right. So thank you all so much. Let me see. Are we going to get to 100 before we leave this broadcast? I am going to read the apples, and then I am going to give a special shout out to the 100th person who signs up. So let's read the apples real quick. And remember, the apples are the people who sponsor. They send these apples in the cash apples. And the Cash Apples are what sponsor the show. So I read those comments online because those are the messages from our sponsors. So let's get this back up on the screen. There we go. All right. Karen sends $10 and says, you are doing a great job. Hey, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And Rashida sends $20. Hey, it says just for you or towards the cost for shipping. You choose. You know what? Thank you. Let's see. Rashida has sent. Let's see. I'll put down another. Let's see. I'm going to put shipping over here. Shipping. 1 plus shipping. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my goodness, you all are so dope. Wow. Erica just sent $30 and says, for shipping for the 5 books, give. Oh, I love what you do. Thank you so much. And then we have Erica, who has sponsored $30 for shipping. Okay. So what I'll probably do is I will break that up because we got money for shipping already. So I'll break this up into 1 book plus shipping. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to announce the contest, but I wonder how we're going to do it because I need to ask you all some questions because I want people who need the book, who really need the book and cannot get the book on their own. I want those people to be able to benefit from it. Like I don't want a person, so I need to figure out who are the people who really, really, really need it. You know what I mean? And then we have Rakaya that sends $5 and says, thank you for being such an awesome person. Thank you. You all are so sweet. And Georgia sends $10. You have to write your message at the top when you're sending it through if you want to send a message. So thank you, Georgia. Thank you all. If you send anything after this moment, I will read it after. I'll read it offline and I'll send you back the emoji because in Cash App, you can only communicate via emojis. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What? Sharon is saying, hold on. Sharon is talking about the killing of Indigenous people. Northern Ontario, KK Canada here, RCMP here, and the exact same. They were formed to kill and control Indigenous peoples and keep us in the concentration camps. Here with the First Nations people, a provincial, municipal. Listen, I have heard about the dirty underside and the massacres in Canada. So yeah, I've heard about that. Canada tries to act like they got their hands clean, but nah. Canada, UK, all these countries are culpable. So listen, let me get out of here because we've already gone over an hour. I really like to keep these close to an hour. So I will see you all in the next video. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is realizing that sometimes it seems as if you've been buried, when in actuality, you've really just been planted. And it's up to you to realize that sometimes these situations compound on top of us like dirt, and it feels like we've been buried, but we've really been planted. And it's up to you to really continue to realize that there is life on the other side of your trauma, regardless of who's the person who tried to bury you, regardless of whether it was your parent, a father, whoever it is that tried to stop you, that there's something on the other side. I told you the story of how I planted this seed. And for weeks, I continued to water it. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. I didn't know. But there was an intelligence embedded in the seed. There was an intelligence embedded in it, that it knew which way was up. It knew how to form the roots to absorb the water that it needed. And it pushed through the dirt. And I saw that green come through. And I was like, wow, all this watering that I've been doing for weeks. And it was hot in California too. So you have to water every day because it dries out quickly. And there was an intelligence in the design. And I was like, yeah. So remember, that's one of the affirmations in my book, actually. It's one of my favorites. I put it right in the beginning of the book. right in the beginning. It's one of my favorite affirmations. It says, I am a seed with all of the genetic programming of a mighty tree. There was the Cash App that came in and also a message. But the affirmation says, I am a seed with all of the genetic coding of a mighty tree. And it was this affirmation that continued to have me push on when I was living in my car and people have written me off and they called me a failure. I mean, the Displacement for the Dream Diaries are right here in a playlist on my page. Check that out if you ever get a chance to. Because if you think like the woman that you see here today, I was not this woman always. And especially when I stayed in my car long enough, I started to become deteriorated. And when I became deteriorated, I didn't see a way out of the situation. I didn't know how I would get out. And I just kept getting broken further and further down. It was like life was playing this cruel joke on me. You know how they say things happen in threes? It was just, things just kept getting worse and worse until I really didn't know how I was going to get out of the situation. And it got to the point where even I doubted my own ability. And I realized that if I didn't change something, that nothing would change. And I had to start saying affirmations, and the affirmations and the visualization got me out of that situation. And not only did it get me out, I had to do some internal work now. I had to do some work around money and abundance and poverty mindedness and what I thought gave me my worth. Before the displacement, I used to think that that money gave me worth. I used to be like, yeah, I got money. I could take care of myself. I used to think the ability to take care of yourself meant that you were taking care of yourself, that you were good, that you had done a good job. And I realized that not having money, not being able to take care of myself didn't mean I was a bad person. It didn't mean that I failed. Not being able to, like, all of my life, I was like, I got to care for myself. I've got to get money and have power and have control. And I realized that there was some trauma I didn't realize was in there. But I mean, listen, we all have trauma because when you're a child, your parents can't buy you everything. And even if they could, that in itself would be trauma. So I experienced inadvertent trauma from just regular life. Like my parents couldn't buy me all the toys that I wanted, that they would talk about money and constraints and budgets and all this other stuff. And I had trauma about that I was like, when I get big, I'm going to buy everything that I want. And I realized that no matter how much money you have, you can never buy everything in this world, because when you get to the $100 level, there's things in the thousands you can't afford. When you get to the 1,000, there's things in the hundreds of thousands. When you get to the hundreds of thousands, there's things in the millions. So it's the mindset you have to shift. And when I went through the displacement and I did the inner work, the affirmations, the visualizations, and the inner healing, listen, abundance unlike anything I have experienced ever before, and unabashed. Like before, I would feel self-conscious. People would be like, oh, Tanya, you begging for money. Black people have this thing. Oh, we can't need anybody. We can't want help. We can't this. We got to be tough. We got to pick up knives. We got to show how bad we are. All this, that, and the other. Abundance unlike what I tried to get through to before. Abundance unlike what it is that I've known, and diversified abundance, so that if one limb is chopped off, there's another limb that has sprouted. So I had to do that healing, and my book is available on Amazon right now. And so on that note, listen, I'm going to get out of here because I feel like we've said enough and all that we need to say. I'll read a few more of your comments, check the last few apples, and then we'll go, right? And then we'll go. Jasmine says, I want to heal and help others heal. You cannot help anybody else heal. You can work on healing yourself, but you don't give healing to other people. You can assist people on their journey. You can provide tools for them, but every person has to do their own work. Whether you were in foster care or not, whether you were abused or not, whether you were trafficked, whether you worked as a sex worker, whether you harmed yourself, whether you have harmed others, only you can do that work. It's like it's like wanting somebody else, to do crunches and you get the abs. If you want the abs, you got to do the crunches. You have got to do the work. And I'm telling you, there's something very beautiful on the other side of that work. There's something beautiful on the other side. And Stacy is saying there's nothing wrong with wanting to help. I think that we have to remove ourselves from it because there is some ego involved in that. I want to help other people. What you can do is you can show up, you can do your work, and you can present a way for people to help themselves. That's it. But when you go out there wanting to help other people, you then take the mission away from what is right for them. Like I have Christians who come to my page. There's a lot of friction that happens with Christians who attempt to push their Christianity onto other people. It's like if you really have something that's amazing and that is wonderful, you don't have to force it on people. I think in the Bible, Jesus said, I am the way and the light. Follow me, right? And the thing is, you could be the way and you could be the light, but it's up to people to do what it is that they feel is right for them. And we have got to respect people's choices. I respect Ma'Khia's choice to pick up a knife that day. All of her programming, her background, what was embedded in her DNA, the trauma she had experienced. I respect her choice, but our choices have consequences. Our choices sometimes those consequences are positive, sometimes those consequences are negative. But our choices have consequences. And we need to start realizing that the life that we're living today is a result of our choices. And that if we want a different life, we've got to make different choices. I have people who listen, I'm going to stop telling anecdotes. I'm going to read these last few apples and then we're going to get out of here. Because at the end of the day, I can only talk. I can only provide the information. Like some people hate my channel. They find no use in it. And other people come to my channel and the channel is enlightening and the channel is fulfilling for them. The channel assists them and helps them on their journey. What's the difference? Same channel, same content, different people. All right, so we have Keisha S. who sends $6 and says, I just subscribed to the text notifications. Let me take a look and see who the 100th person is. Let me see who the 100th person is. Janine says $30. Hey! And says, a book for my sis. We don't understand. Oh, so Jeanette is sending a book to a person, and this will cover shipping as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 books to give away. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. Thank you. Toria sends $5 and says, thank you for the great content. Make an Audible book. You know what? I'm working on that, actually. I'm working on that. I've been working on that, but I need to stop working on it and just get it done. Steve sends $10. Hey, Steve, welcome back. You've been missing in action. So has Ray. Ray has been missing in action too. He's disappeared on us. Rose sends $2 and says, I love you for keeping it 100. I just want BW to be on code. I feel you. If I wasn't a content creator with, integrity. If I wasn't a content creator with integrity, I would have just, I could have been quiet in this situation, but I felt like this was a self-love lesson here. I could have hushed my mouth and said nothing. Fabiola sends 333 and says, shine bright like a diamond, lady. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Rose sends $2 and says, like Black men and white people. Yeah, but you know what? Listen, Black men, where are Black men getting with this being on code and perpetuating toxic shit? Where are they getting? They're getting into a state of delusion. If I really care about you, I listen, I'm sorry. Listen, there's some men on here and there's some white people on here. And I'm going to say this, right? I'll ask the question. do you think that Black men are the blueprint for how we should be living our lives? Do you think white people are the blueprint? I remember when I went to the dungeons in Ghana and I heard about these demonic people singing their praises and songs, having church above where human beings were kept and tortured. Listen, come on. Come on. I'm not going to use them as the blueprint. I want Black women to be the very best that we can be. And part of being the very best that we can be is hearing the truth and looking at the truth within us. Now, maybe publicly, I could have shut the hell up and not said anything. Maybe publicly, I could have just been quiet. Maybe I could have been quiet. However, I felt like there was a self-love lesson in here, especially for young people who have endured. Nina sends $5 and says, Cash Apple just to nourish the channel. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. And listen, we've been on for 125. I don't know how the time just goes so quickly. So I'm going to jump out of here and I will see you all in the next video. I'm going to take a quick, oh wait, there's more apples that just came through. Wow, they're coming through so quickly. Okay. Brittany sends 333 and says, yay, I'm subscribed for your text. Thank you. You know what? I almost forgot to check and give a shout out to the 100th person. Keisha sends $6 and says, your content helped me out of a dark place. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? So there are people who benefit from my content and other people who don't. So this is what I say. If you don't like my channel, you don't like me, you don't resonate with me, go someplace else where you do resonate with the message, because at the end of the day, it's really about becoming the best person that you can be. And if you're finding that someplace else, by all means, go there and get that. Julene sends $5 and says, thank you for always being consistent. Love you. Thank you so much. And let's give a shout out to the 100th person. Let me see who the 100th person is. The last name that we read was India, right? India was the 99th person. Let's see who the 100th person is. It's refreshing. Let's see. Ow! So let's see. Let's go to where India is. Keisha was right. Keisha is the 100th person. Keisha, special shout out to you. Thank you for helping me get to that 100 mark. You are the iconic 100th person. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Mia, who came in after her, Erica, Misty, Brittany D, Trinice H, Felicia S, Bethany D, and Tanya B. So now we are at 108. So thank you all very much for getting us over the 100 mark and then some. And then some. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you. I don't even know what to say. Just thank you all so very much. Thank you for loving yourself through my content. Thank you for loving yourself through my channel. And I am going to create more ways to serve you all into helping yourself through the journey of self-love. And on that note, I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you could try turning on the bell notifications. It doesn't work for everybody. So make sure that you're signed up to the text notification crew so that you always get a text when I go live with a direct link. And make sure that you know where to find me on social media. But social media is fickle. I'm serious. You never know when Facebook may decide to cut me off, or YouTube, because these pages behave how they want to. So this is why you have to make sure that you subscribe directly to the content creators you love and want. Like many content creators, listen, living in my car helped me realize the insecurities that I had. Not insecurities, but what do you call it when something is not strong? It's I can't think of the word. It's like when something is not strong, it's weak. It has something. There's like if you make a building and you don't build the foundation right and the building can crumble. Well, I realized living in my car how vulnerable I was to the whims of YouTube and Facebook, etc. Because if they decide, like last year, Facebook only paid me 3 months, 90 days out of 365 days. So I only got paid for 3 months out of 12 months. This is why I don't even monetize on Facebook anymore. F that. F that. And Facebook would continue to allow other people to come down and claim my videos as their own. And I had to fight, but the mark would still stay. And so I don't even monetize on Facebook anymore. Forget that. I'm finding other ways to serve you all with what it is that you need so that we have a direct relationship. Some other content creators don't realize how important it is to be able to contact your crew. They don't realize. And then you learn a little too late, but by then your channel is gone. The 108 people who just signed up for my text notification, if anything ever happens to me, I'm going to send you a text and let you know, listen, this is no more. This is where we're at. As simple as that. Simple as that. So listen, I will see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. For real this time, because we're at 1 hour, 30 minutes. For real this time. I'll see you all later. You all want a hug? Yes, let's hug. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. All right. I'll see you all later. Peace.